Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
I hadn't planned on cleaning out the back drawer that day. I'd been looking for an old photo album, something harmless, nostalgic. What I found instead froze me mid-motion. A manila folder, unmarked and dusty, tucked beneath a pile of warranty receipts and faded birthday cards. How did she get here? It's kind of mystical. I flipped it open out of idle curiosity, and then my hands started to shake. At the top, bold and unmistakable. Death certificate, name of deceased, Olive Claire Richards. Date of death, June 12, 2023. Place of death, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Cause of death, vehicular accident. I blinked. Once. Twice. No, this had to be a joke. But there was my full name, my correct date of birth, even my social security number. Stamped. Signed. Filed. I wasn't dead. I hadn't even been to Brazil. My knees buckled, and I slumped to the floor beside the drawer. My fingertips traced the official seal as a cold chill crept up my spine. It felt like standing at the edge of a grave. My own. I fumbled for my phone, dialing the only person I could trust with something this insane. Olive. Alana answered immediately, her voice drowsy. It's barely 7. What's going on? I think I've been murdered. The words tumbled out. On paper. A beat of silence. What? I found a death certificate. My death certificate. Alana snapped awake. You're not joking. I'm looking right at it. My voice cracked. Brazil. Car accident, June 12th. Last year. Hold on, she said, typing rapidly. That's when you went off the grid for a while, remember? That sabbatical your parents pushed you to take. It hit me like a slap. They'd encouraged me, insisted, that I take time off. Reconnect with yourself, my mother had said. Live a little, my father had added, booking the flights and wiring funds. But once I landed overseas, my banking app stopped working. My texts to them were met with vague replies, then nothing at all. I blamed bad Wi-Fi and buried my discomfort. Now I knew better. They used the time to kill me, I whispered. Alana cursed under her breath. You need to come to my office. Today. This is felony territory, fraud, identity theft, maybe more. Don't tell anyone else, not even your family. You could be in danger. My fingers gripped the paper tighter. The ink might as well have been blood. I didn't know how deep this went, but one thing was clear. Someone had declared me dead for a reason. And I was about to find out why. The cab dropped me 2 blocks from Lana's office. I didn't want to be seen going in. Skyscrapers loomed above like silent watchers, but none more intimidating than the sharp glass tower at 12 West 43rd, the Banks and Harper law firm. I walked briskly, gripping the folder like it was evidence from a crime scene, because in truth it was. Alana met me in the lobby before I could press the elevator button. Her long coat billowed as she marched toward me, dark eyes wide with questions. You look like you saw a ghost, she said, pulling me into a side corridor. I am the ghost. She took the folder from my hands and scanned the certificate as we entered her office. Floor-to-ceiling windows bathed the room in soft gray light, but it couldn't chase away the chill curling in my gut. Jesus, Olive, she muttered, flipping the document. This isn't a copy. It's original, official, stamped in Rio and filed through the consulate in D.C. I sat down hard on the leather couch. They used my sabbatical to fake it. My parents. Who else would have the means to pull this off? Alana stood frozen. Her fingers hovered near her mouth. And the why? I don't know. My voice cracked. But something in me says it's about money. Control. Maybe even the inheritance I never cared to ask about. She looked up. You mean the one from your grandfather? I nodded. Alana crossed the room and opened a locked file cabinet. You don't know this, she said carefully, but a year ago, I got a strange call from Daniel Morrison, your grandfather's estate lawyer. He wanted to verify your living status because the estate hadn't heard from you in months. She handed me a card. Daniel Morrison, senior partner, Wexler and Stone, probate division. Go to him, she said firmly. He'll confirm what I suspect. Your parents faked your death to claim something that belonged to you. But listen to me, Olive. She lowered her voice. If someone's willing to declare you dead on paper, they might not stop there. A chill ran down my back. I swallowed hard. Then I'll find out what they stole. Alana gripped my shoulder. You're not alone anymore." For the first time in months, I believed her. Daniel Morrison didn't flinch when I walked into his office. The moment he saw my face, his mouth fell open. "My God," he whispered, standing slowly. "Olive Richards?" "Very much alive," I said, setting the death certificate on his mahogany desk. "Care to explain this?" He adjusted his glasses, studied the document, and let out a low breath. "They filed probate last year. Your father swore under oath that you died in Brazil. Your obituary ran in 3 newspapers. And I released the inheritance. To them," he nodded grimly, "your father, your mother, and your brother Julian. They claimed it was urgent, something about company debts. I had no reason to doubt the documents." I swallowed hard. "How much?" $7.2 million, plus property, all meant for you, but only if you were alive and uninvolved in the family business, per your grandfather's terms." I clenched my fists, so they erased me on paper to steal my future. Daniel opened a locked drawer, pulling out a thick file. "Here, the financial trail." But that's not all. He tapped a page near the back. They didn't just collect, they hid it. Offshore accounts, shell companies, fraud layered over fraud. My chest tightened. They buried me and built an empire on my grave. He leaned forward. "We have one shot to undo this. You must go to court and prove you're alive. And then, we burned them to the ground," I finished. Daniel's expression hardened. "Exactly. My parents hadn't just stolen money. They stole me, and I was done playing dead." I stood outside the courthouse, heart thudding like a drum in my chest. The sky above was a washed-out gray, as if the heavens themselves were holding their breath. Daniel handed me the folder. "You ready?" I nodded, though every nerve in my body screamed otherwise. As we entered, whispers followed like shadows. The receptionist dropped her pen. A bailiff blinked at me like I was a ghost. I didn't blame them. According to official records, I died a year ago. Inside the courtroom, my parents sat at the claimant's table, dressed in their finest. My brother Julian lounged beside them, smug as ever. Until he saw me. His jaw slackened. My mother gasped audibly. My father turned deathly pale. "What the hell is this?" Julian muttered, rising. She's dead." "Clearly not," I said coldly, stepping forward. "But you're about to wish I had been." The judge banged her gavel. "Order. Who is this woman?" Daniel stepped forward. "Your Honor, this is Olive Richards, the woman declared deceased by these 3 individuals in a fraudulent probate petition." Gasps rippled through the room. The judge's eyes widened as Daniel laid down the documents, my passport, living ID, travel records, even video footage from just weeks ago. The judge stared at me, then at the death certificate. "Miss Richards," she said slowly, "do you swear the testimony you're about to give is true?" "I swear, and I can prove every lie they told." What followed was a storm. Bank statements, offshore transfers, fake documents, even manipulated security footage from my supposed death date. Julian tried to object, but the judge silenced him with a glare. By the end, the courtroom wasn't breathing. The judge looked at me. "Miss Richards, your death certificate is hereby nullified. You are legally alive. And as for the defendants," she turned to my family, "you are under arrest for fraud, conspiracy, and perjury." The gavel fell. And just like that, I was back from the dead. They led my parents and Julian out in handcuffs. I didn't feel triumph, just the cold, quiet hush of justice finally done. "You really did this to your own daughter," I said softly, locking eyes with my mother as the bailiff pulled her past me. "You buried me while I was still breathing." She didn't speak. Her eyes shimmered, not with regret, but rage. Julian sneered. "Enjoy the money, Olive. That's all you ever cared about." I stepped forward. "No, what I care about is the truth. You gambled everything on the chance I'd stay silent. You forgot what Richard's blood really means." Outside, reporters swarmed. Daniel raised a hand to shield me, but I didn't flinch. Let them see. Let the world hear. Olive Richards lives. A week later, I stood on the steps of my grandfather's estate, my estate now. The keys were cold in my hand. The place smelled of old books and lemon polish, just as I remembered as a child. Alana joined me in the doorway. "You're home." "No," I said, staring down the hallway. "I'm free." I reclaimed everything they tried to erase: my name, my inheritance, my life. But the greatest justice? At the sentencing, the judge added one final note. The court recognizes the psychological cruelty inflicted on Miss Richards. This was not greed alone. This was betrayal with surgical precision. Each of them was sentenced to life without parole. The girl they buried in lies stood in the front row, unbroken.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.